What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to another video on Motorsport Manager on the PC, and today we actually have some actual gameplay of the game. Not a lot, but just a little bit of gameplay, which looks very cool. So thanks again to Sega and PlaySport for providing the footage. It's basically press footage that's meant for B-roll footage, so there's no audio to it. It's B-roll stuff, which basically means that there's no audio. It's meant to be kind of as like a kind of little video overlay while you talk over it perhaps in the video, which is exactly what I'm going to do today. So let's play the clip and start it off. So we kind of start off the video with the game kind of launching, and as you can see, pre-alpha footage. So this is early development stages of the game, so everything might not be polished, but from what I've already seen of it, I kind of clicked through a little bit just to get a glimpse. It looks very cool. So he starts off with this really awesome splash page, which I'm just going to pause here. Looks stunning, looks really awesome. Obviously we've seen the kind of intro pages on the mobile iOS game, but now on the PC it just looks that more kind of cool. Like, fills the whole screen, looks awesome. Just look at that nice kind of sun glistening on the puddles, and you got that nice kind of F1 looking car there on the splash page. So then now we continue on and we get to this second screen, which we're going to pause as well. So you get two different cups you can choose from, at least in the pre-alpha build right now: Continental Super Cup and World Grand Prix. So obviously it's sort of like GP2 and F1 there, and it's really cool. You get kind of different prize monies. You can see 600 million for F1, and then you can see 200 million for GP2, and you get a different kind of sense of different teams, and you also get a different number of obviously TV audience and also circuits as well. 16 in the F1 category if you like, and 12 in the GP2 one. So it's not actually GP2 or F1 obviously, because they can't get the licensing from FIA, because FIA are quite stingy with this stuff, but obviously you can see what they're kind of going for. It's almost like F1 and GP2. And then we come to this lovely little animation of this awesome 3D rendered kind of F1 car that they've built from scratch. Obviously I mentioned in my other video, which I did earlier today, about, you know, them building it and them wanting to make it really kind of not authentic, but basically useful and actually grounded in realism in terms of what would actually affect aero. And then obviously all these first screens you're seeing right now, I've covered in my first video earlier today. So if you have missed that, go click the annotation right now on screen or the video card in the top right, and you can go see that first video where I go really in depth into analyzing all these UI screens. There is, however, one new UI screen in this gameplay that we did not see in the first video, which is this one right before you would go into a race. This one's to do with your actual staff this time, so this wasn't in the first video I did. So you've got Chief Engineer, Race Mechanic, and you've got two Race Mechanics indeed, and each one obviously for your specific 1 and 2 drivers. So just sort of like in real life F1, you have two sides of the garage. They've kind of gone for two Race Mechanics in that sense. So they also have ratings out of 5 stars, as well as does the Chief Engineer. So they will affect everything, so you really have to also sort after your staff. Remember, in the mobile game they had your aerodynamicist, your kind of person who looked after manufacturing, and then reliability and kind of, you know, design. So in this case it looks like they've gone for Chief Engineer, 2 Race Mechanics. Perhaps they've even gone into more detail that we can't see right now at the moment immediately, and maybe there's even still aerodynamicists you have to worry about, design stuff you have to worry about, but at the moment, from what we can see right now, the kind of main umbrella bracket thing will be the Chief Engineer and the 2 Race Mechanics for each car. So it looks like they have almost sort of, I don't know, these sort of traits that are all unlockable because they've got padlocks, and then it looks like you can look at details of the engineer, and you can also fire the engineer and compare them to other engineers perhaps. So that's pretty damn brutal, but yeah, you can compare them all, and they also have their own contracts and how much they're paid and when it expires, just like the drivers, so you can change all that. And it looks like on the left, it looks like the Chief Engineer has some kind of special characteristics, kind of known components that they're available like to design because of this engineer you've got. So perhaps you're kind of going to be looking at the engineering market, looking at what designers you want to get specifically for if you want to improve your car in a specific area, like we talked in the first video, where they have the hexagon of parts where you need to improve. You need to kind of focus on aero, then you get an engineer, Chief Engineer, who is much better at that stuff, or vice versa for like an engine upgrade. And finally, also you can see on the bottom part where the drivers are, you can see chemistry with the driver and the mechanic. Obviously in real life that's quite an important thing, having engineers, you know, be well and gelled with their drivers. So looks like now that's also yet again another parameter you're going to have to manage there, to see if the mechanics you've hired are going to be gelling well with the drivers you've hired. And so maybe a case of, oh, do I fire the driver or do I fire the engineer? All sort of questions you're probably going to be asked of, you know, while you play this game. So now as we move on through the clip, we go to this kind of loading screen for the race. So we're at Belgium, round 1 of 14. So this will be in the GP2 circuit, and just take a little pause here because it looks pretty damn awesome. Really looks stunning. They've made all these circuits from scratch, as I kind of mentioned in the first video. And then we've got this lovely little splash page for the World Championship season. Lovely little flag thing. It looks really cool, like the kind of official kind of F1. You have the kind of FOM intro. And then we come to just some B-roll footage of you playing the game. So obviously it's pre-alpha, so everything's kind of obviously up for debate. You know, they might change things, how the kind of UI looks and how you get to certain things. But you can see, you can look at driving style, engine modes for the drivers. So that's very cool that you can change the engine modes. That's obviously a big part in F1 right now. We saw Rosberg had a very big issue at the Spanish Grand Prix with engine modes. And then you can change driving style, like the iOS game, and tell them to maybe be a bit smoother, be, you know, faster. And look at that. Did you see that? That part of the circuit where the car went around the kind of fountain in the middle. That's an awesome kind of street circuit part. So it's kind of cool to see these unique, different, obviously new circuits. And now we've got this kind of, well, that almost looks like Russia almost with that middle part, really long left-hander there. You can see, oh, it just looks cool. Like, obviously, you could see the dots on the screen of Motorsport Manager on the mobile, and that was kind of intriguing and actually got really intense. But now that you can see the cars physically there, going for overtakes, you can see them in a 3D space. It just looks so much more kind of immersive. You care a bit more. And then here we can see some rain gameplay. You can see the rain splodges coming up on your screen. So not only can you see the nice spray coming off the actual 3D cars there on the track, but you also get some spray there. And then if you pause it here, dilemmas are back in the game, just like it was on the mobile game. But obviously here, you can see it's kind of mid-race. They've got an engine issue, so they want to try and change something. So you're going to have to manage that. So obviously, hopefully that might be a dilemma that comes up for any of the parts you can kind of have on the car from like the first video we discussed, you know, engine, gearbox, front wing, rear wing, you know, the dampers and everything like that. And then we get onto this next screen, which we haven't seen yet, which is, I'm guessing, mid-race, I think, and this is to do with the tires you've got, the strategy you're doing. So you can see on the strategy, you can see the kind of balance, fast and safe strategy, the kind of time you're going for, the fuel you've got loaded in, which is going to be a very important factor. Really lovely little tire screen. I like that. Soft tires, hard tires, inters and wet. Nice little graphics. You can see clearly where your tires are worn. And then again, as I mentioned, the part condition. So you can see the engine is quite low. There's no yellow bar. So maybe that's the dilemma the driver is having. And on the right hand side, you can see the stints he's done. So you can get really in depth into looking at, okay, what stints has he done here? And perhaps this could be this will be very, very useful in practice. Because imagine if you're in the practice session, you want to get a grip of what strategy you're going for. So you make your driver go out, you see what stints he can do on what tire, how long the tires can go for, which is such an improvement on the mobile version, where basically it was almost like a scripted sort of thing with the tire, where it was almost like, okay, soft tires will go about 4 or 5 laps every single track, and then hard tires about 8 or 9 every single track. Whereas this time, hopefully it's going to be very, very different. You have to actually work for it and figure out what's going on. Obviously, you can see here, they're clicking the engine part. They're going to fix the part. So that was the dilemma they've solved there to fix that engine part. And then finally, we come to the factory, which we mentioned in the first video, which we got very excited about because it's such a cool thing. Like, look at this. It's like Sim City almost. Like you're choosing the parts you want to build, and like, you know, oh, I want like a wind tunnel or a test track like Maranello, you know, like on my HQ site. It's just so cool to me that you can like make an almost Maranello kind of style thing going on, and you can choose exactly what you want. So if you're, you know, lacking in aero, get a wind tunnel, or if you're lacking on kind of testing time reliability, get the test track. So that has been the end of the Motorsport Manager gameplay. As you can see, coming September 2016, that's been the pre-alpha footage from the press. Once again, thank you very much to Sega and the guys over at PlaySport for providing this B-roll footage for me, and it's been absolutely awesome to look at it. Again, very, very excited from this second video. Guys, if you did miss the first video, do go check it out. I uploaded it earlier today, so you can click on my channel link and just go and see it. If you're around here, then do subscribe for more Motorsport Manager content. I do right now a current mobile series where I play the mobile version right now. That's out right now, been out for a while. I'm playing that pretty much at least once a week. So if you're new around here, you want to watch Motorsport Manager, do subscribe to the channel. Of course, I will bring news on the PC version as it comes in as fast as I can. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below of this video and the gameplay you've seen. Are you excited for this game? I've seen plenty of you guys on the first video say you are definitely going to get this game, no matter what it costs or whatever like that. It's actually on Steam already, which is quite cool. Awesome to see that it's on Steam. Like, it's actually going to be there. It's real. It's coming September. Bit of a wait, but, you know, I guess we're going to have to bear with that. But yeah, guys, I've been over. Hope you enjoyed the day, and we'll see you guys next time.